Peggy ripoff. At Respawn, we're all about keeping our promises, like keeping our monetization fair. In our all-new event, Be Less Poor. Enjoy all 24 items behind a paywall.
What the fuck is this?
Then, once you've collected all 24, you get your prize, which you have to pay for.
I've seen a lot of shops. What the hell is this?
Gotta scan them all, am I right, folks? Plus, enjoy a free Dev Meltdown 2 on the house. And if you can't pay for it, well, you're just a freeloader. Thank you all for playing and see you on the battlefield, toxic gamer assholes. Just when we thought this was all over, everybody. Apex Legends, EA bad, we're back again, everybody. Over the weekend, everybody, some stuff happened, okay? Some devs got a little bit hot, okay? Ralph, take over.
They got hot, did they, Sam?
They got very hot and sweaty, everybody.
You know what I think of you gamers out there? You suck. You suck, comment section. You suck, loyal subscribers.
We don't like you no more.
You're the worst. We just feel the need to insult you because we're inspired by Drew McCoy, lead producer man on Apex Legends. Lead producer man. And also some other community manager as well, who took to Reddit to basically go to war with their players while also announcing that they were sorry for the shitty things they did.
Lost. Lost what? I've lost my marbles.
Naturally, that's how it happens, isn't it? Really?
Exactly what happens. You do something wrong, and then people say, man, you should have done that thing, and they say, fuck you, entitled gamer. That's essentially the flow. Correct. While they admit it. Yeah, we totally fucked that up, you disgusting entitled freeloaders. That's exactly what happened in this Reddit thread. I shit you not, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about it.
You like that drop, everyone? That's a new drop brought to you by Pixelflare. He was Pixelflaregfx. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. He sent that to us on Twitter. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. We'll leave a link in the
description below. So, on to the news. Now, here's the deal. Basically, the Iron Crown event, aka the Iron Whale event, went live in Apex Legends last week. Now, Apex Legends, Battle Royale game.
We all know it.
Free to play, they monetize through skins and loot boxes and the like.
Yep.
What the fuck is this?
It's been going for a while now. Bit of a rocky season 1. Season 2 was, like picking up, had a ranked mode and stuff.
Sure.
This is their first seasonal timed event, and everyone was really excited about that. When it arrived, what it has is solo queue. So basically now you can just drop into the match solo. You don't need to be in a party of 3. Everyone had been asking for this from the start, so everyone's like, yep, good job, devs. A few balancing changes, but the major feature are a new set of collectible cosmetic items, such as, weapons, as in weapon skins,
24
and
in total.
player skins, 24 in total. And if you collect all of them, you get access to a special hatchet.
Yeah, and
which looks pretty cool.
It does look pretty cool, actually. We're probably going to show it to you right now. Actually, in Ralph's hand right now, everybody.
Is the hatchet.
Yeah, of course. And look, it was an interesting thing because you couldn't get it, you couldn't purchase it. You had to get it all in loot boxes, right? Now, if you were to purchase all the loot boxes in bulk, in terms of the currency, it was going to cost you about $170, and that included then finally getting that hatchet skin, right?
Which you also need to pay for once you've collected all the other 24 items.
So that's a lot of money. Okay, now I understand it's a free-to-play game, but look, that's taking the piss. Okay, there's plenty of other free-to-play games that monetize in a better way. Okay, a lot of backlash from that. Okay, and it's EA. Okay, so when we saw the backlash, we're like, oh baby, all right, let's make a video. And then they actually responded to that backlash. Okay, and this is what they said.
At launch, we made a promise to players that we intend to do monetization in a way that felt fair and provided choice to players on how they spent their money and time. A core decision during development of Apex Legends was that we wanted to make a world-class Battle Royale game in quality, depth, progression, and important for today's conversations, how we sell stuff. With the Iron Crown event, we missed the mark when we broke our promise by making Apex packs the only way to get what many would consider to be the coolest skins we've ever released.
With ever was actually something.
Actually, I didn't know.
Ralph added that in, but you know what? For effect, we've never released.
We've heard you, and we've spent a lot of time this week discussing the feedback and how we structure events in the future, as well as changes that we will make to Iron Crown. To get right into it, here are the changes we're making. Starting on the 20th of August, we'll be adding and rotating all 12 of the event-exclusive legendary items into the store over the course of the final week of the event for the regular legendary skin cost of 1,800 Apex coins. You'll still be able to purchase Iron Crown Apex packs for 700 Apex coins if you choose. So what they're basically saying is half of the items that are available in this event that were only available in loot boxes before are now available on the store.
Yeah.
And you have to pay what is essentially $18 for them.
Yeah, so look,
Each.
the heirloom ones, the other 12, you still have to be rolling in the loot box to get. Sure.
Yes.
Now, is this a solution for someone that wants to main a particular character? Maybe. Maybe it's going to save some people a little bit of money because now they can buy a particular item. But the bottom line is, a lot of people, it still has the gacha component.
Gotcha, bitch!
It still has a lot of people want to collect the full set. You can't even get close to the axe hatchet unless you've got everything, right?
Unless you spend $170 by buying loot boxes, you cannot get that really awesome collectible item that everybody wants. And if you do want to get just 1 or 2 skins that you really like without having to gamble for them, you still need to spend $18 per skin.
Sure.
Make way for the hook! Now, like, obviously, we've been on the record in the past and being like, look, that's a bit pricey, but it's a free-to-play game, and if they want to charge, you know, a premium price for their skins, whatever. A lot of people have been making the note recently that the skins that they're offering aren't particularly exciting in the world of Apex Legends. Like, there's one Reddit quote here. For $20 in League, you can get a skin that offers new model, new animations, new character voice, and new ability effects. For $20 in Apex Legends, you get Bald Wraith.
Like Bald Wraith, everybody. I mean, look, Overwatch does that too. Like, you get, you know, different voices with your ult. You do a completely different skin, do a different weapon design. A lot of stuff comes with it when you actually do get those legendary items. So it is a pretty stock standard thing these days. I think if you are expecting players to spend a bit of money, they should get more than just what the skin looks like.
Sure.
You know, it should be an integration on a lot of levels, you know?
So players are basically saying that these skins aren't up to scratch. And look, either way, this is a really shitty solution to this problem because you're still having to spend $170 plus if you want to get all the things. You still have to spend nearly $20 a pop just to get the specific ones that you want. And there's no path to collecting these things for free. And in fact, one of the things they say in this update is, for future collection events, we will provide more ways to obtain items than just buying Apex packs.
I love Ralph's voice over there. That was Ralph's voice over. That's fantastic, everybody.
That's the dumbest sentence. What's the dumbest voice I could make, right? So basically, they're like, yeah, look, we need to be able to give you... Sure, do that for this event. Like, come on, like, what's going on?
Look, I again, like, you know, I think a lot of people might that just be, you know, that have a main, great, fine, but 90% of the people, this is not actually a solution at all. It's really not giving them a pathway. You know, I've seen some funny memes on Twitter showing, like, you know, be less poor for Apex Legends. I understand it is a free-to-play game, they have to monetize. At the same time, you know, they are always going after the whales. You know, there should always be a path for people that aren't, you know, in the financial situation that they can buy everything. Give them a path to at least enjoy some of those features.
Correct.
You know?
So, obviously, when this went down and players weren't happy about this, so they started voicing their frustrations at this solution on Reddit.
Yes.
And that's when the developers started to respond. And unfortunately, the developers thought that, you know, in addition to responding to a number of constructive posts that were well-worded and providing very professional responses, they thought they would also engage in some of the more toxic posts and provide some, like, edgy schooling.
Yes.
They're like, they'll teach these
They
gamers.
went full Randy.
They
went full Randy,
So this
everybody.
is, let's get into some of the examples.
Here we go.
So one user says, look, $20 is a lot better than gambling with crown packs. So this person was basically like saying, hey, I guess this is better. The developer responds, as we've said before, we will not engage with temper tantrums and personal attacks or vitriolic threads. They're completely unacceptable. We took a look in the mirror this week. Lol, thanks for the attack, guys. Okay, passive-aggressive much, and decided we hadn't met our obligations and are making changes because we believe in our approach. I've been in the industry long enough to remember when players weren't complete asshats to developers, and it was pretty neat. I forged a bunch of long-lasting relationships from back then. Would be awesome to get back there and not engaging with toxic people or asking how high when a mob screams jump is hopefully a start.
Look, I look at this and go, two things. Number one, he's only talking to the 1% there, okay? There's another 99% of people that are just excited about the game, or want to play about it, that they want to play the game. When you only talk to the 1%, I mean, that becomes usually 100% of the conversation. And that's the first thing that I'm looking at here.
But also it just sounds like the ways, it just labels everyone as the 99%. Because when he says, I remember when players weren't complete arse-hats to developers. Like, which players? All your players? Some of your players? Like, dude, most of your players aren't arse-hats. They're perfectly reasonable people.
Sure.
But when you speak this way, like, it makes it sound like they're all lumped together.
Yeah.
When they have a legitimate complaint about being overcharged for something, they're all of a sudden arse-hats.
Especially when you've agreed with that, you know, you've actually...
You totally have
put
just
out a
agreed
statement
with it.
saying that you agree with it. And secondly, he's putting the responsibility on the gamer. Instead of actually looking at what the industry's done in the last 10 years, the monetization structure in the industry the last 10 years has like dramatically changed. And, you know, without really owning up to that at all and just putting it on the gamers, it's really gross.
Games used to be a thing that were just such an equalizer in the sense that you bought a product and everybody got the same thing. And, you know, it's like, you know, Morrowind, for example. Like, we bought Morrowind, we all got it out of the box. It was incredible. That was it. Now compare what we got with Fallout 76 today. You know, compare like Dragon Age Origins to what Anthem was. You know, like the industry has taken notable steps back.
In some respects.
For sure. In some respects.
In some games that are still pushing that industry forward.
With regards to monetization. The flip side of that is you've now got free-to-play games that are coming out, like Apex Legends, that are really high quality, right? But there's a balance to be had there about how you're charging your players. And when you're charging $170 for seasonal events, and you're just doing that with a straight face, of course your players are going to get angry.
Sure.
Like, fuck off, man. That's ridiculous. So it's not just about, oh, gamers are toxic and whatever else. This is about the way monetization in particular has evolved in this industry and how the player is being constantly gouged. That you can't just buy a game right now and get everything. You need to buy all the plus on top of it. And even a free-to-play game that promises to treat you well ends up disappointing. So having said all that, obviously some comments are really toxic and they do sort of push developers to a point of frustration, and we get that. So this is one quote that, you know, he responded to, okay? This is just, we'll read the whole thing because it kind of gives you a sense of what I'm sure a lot of the comments are like and what developers face every day. Oh well, I guess we can also remember when developers weren't money-grabbing fucks that scanned their players too. Free to play, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't give you the right to charge $20 for a skin. You should be setting the tone for other companies to follow and stop fucking your player base who commit their time to the game. Good riddance to your game. I loved it at release, bought both Season Pass level 100, hundreds of hours after seeing how greedy you guys got. No surprise as you're EA's bitch. The game's uninstalled and anything from you in the future can die as quickly as it's released in my opinion. And fuck anyone that says this is better, like take their dick out of your mouth and have some respect for yourself. Yep, I've gone over the top. I can blame the whiskey all I like, but I've gone from thinking, oh shit, these devs care to, yep, just as bad as EA's reputation. You had no choice but to answer risky comments, so get the fuck off your high horse. So, obviously, that's a very juicy comment, right?
But again, that's the 1%, you know, like, let's just make that clear. Sure,
he's a super fan as well. Like, he's someone that really cares about your game. And rather than focus on, like, his dedication, the hundreds of hours he's given, the developer chose to instead focus upon some of his more abusive aspects of the quote. The developer responded, "Hey everyone, found the dick I was talking about. Guess what? I didn't even read your comment, except for the first sentence and the last. This kind of garbage doesn't warrant a reply, but luckily for you, I've made a comment about this earlier. Go find it."
First thing we should say is, I understand people are human, alright? Devs are humans, we're humans. Some people, you know, on YouTube or in companies, sometimes they just lose their cool. It doesn't mean it's acceptable. It does not mean it's acceptable. I look at this and go, it is so irresponsible to the other developers, the people in marketing, the people in PR that you work with, that you're just disregarding and making them have to go into damage control because you just want to fly off the wheel, you know?
Agreed. And this is also Drew McCoy, who's like the head of Apex Legends, like the project leader.
Dude, I mean, it's such a disappointing thing, and I really looked at Apex and thought, man, this is a really good product for EA. Go, and when it first came out, go them. They're going to make something that's fair and really solidly built. And it's just getting washed down the toilet. It's so disappointing.
One person actually tried to sort of rescue Drew from this, like one commenter, and this is what he said.
A toxic gamer, everybody.
Someone said, I don't think he was talking to me, was he? I hope I wasn't coming off as a dick. I was trying to be supportive. Another person said, yeah, but he called someone a dick, not you in particular. And Drew then said, I think technically I was calling gamers dicks. I don't know, I had a spicy lunch, feeling it. Cool, bro. That's super edgy, but like calling gamers dicks,
feeling like an asshole might delete later. Like, come on, man.
That doesn't help anyone. Just you guys are being the dicks here, like with the way that you're charging for this product. So let's just keep that in mind next time you have that spicy lunch.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I
maybe a bit less chili next time.
And I mean, look, we've made the point a million times over. Like, you know, you have a brand responsibility, you have a marketing responsibility here. This is just like, you know, like Randy Pitchford or like all these other people that have gone to Twitter, or like Jessica Price, for instance. Like, you do this stuff, and this just damages your brand so fucking hard, and it takes months, if not longer, for people to forget this kind of stuff. But look, he went on and then he started calling people freeloaders, which is even better. Thank you. Let's just continue this story and get to the 10:01.
We're already past
Oh my god, we're well past that.
There's a wealth of data available on how monetization works in free-to-play games, and we ourselves have run tests by putting skins on sale in the store. The amount of people who spend money is crazy low. Most of y'all are freeloaders, and we love that, and a change in price doesn't move the needle. Now, freeloaders is a derogatory term,
It's
man.
not the greatest.
Like, it might, if you're going to say this point, you say, listen, most players choose not to spend money, and that's fine. You don't call them freeloaders, man, because what that basically says is that, like, you guys are taking advantage. You guys aren't putting in your required bit to be able to move this thing forward. You guys are taking advantage of our generosity. That's not how this is. That's not how a free-to-play economy works, man. That's the wrong word to use.
Every single player that logs on, it is doing that game a favor in many ways.
Correct.
I think it's keeping it momentum up. It's keeping it in Twitch. You know, if you're a streamer, if you don't spend any money, you know, you're bringing friends to play it with you or whatever. There's so many ways to look at this and say, any gamer that logs on, they're still doing their part in some way, shape, or form.
Correct.
To have this kind of, it's such a disrespectful and unappreciative way to be looking at a game and the community in general that are trying to support your game.
Yeah.
And this guy's the lead, man. Like,
Yeah.
he's the lead of Apex Legends. It'd be different if it was just a dev that kind of worked, you know, within the team and he kind of lost his cool. This guy's really speaking for the whole team right now, and it just looks really bad.
So I guess this is really summed up by the final quote where, you know, the Respawn community manager basically said, look, so it's fine for all of you to call us liars, full of shit, and other personal attacks when we communicate an apology and update to the event, but we're immature when we call people out on that. Got it. Well, I mean, like, this is the way PR works, man. Like, it's just, this is life. Like, if you're not willing to suit up for this battle, then don't become a community manager.
Sure.
Like, I'm saying, that's how it is. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get to fight with everyone in the comment section all the time, because your job is to focus on the 99% of players. It's not to pick fights with the 1%, especially when you are wrong. If you are right and you've got the moral high ground, go for it. But you don't have the high ground, Anakin, so just give up. Do you know what I mean? You don't have it.
Your responsibility also is to focus on the positivity, and I think build on that positivity and try and just kind of, you know, push down that negativity.
And I think one of the most sort of troubling quotes, and one that's kind of been underreported, is that, you know, Apex really see this whole event as a massive success. Because, you know, basically responding to one person saying, not sure if this is what you mean, but in reality, the Iron Crown event has been a success, both with revenue and player engagement. Our numbers are up across the board. So, like, the thing is, they're looking at this event and thinking, we've got more people playing the game and we've got more money coming in.
And we've got our money.
But they're completely ignoring all the reputational damage they've done. Like, this has gone from being a game that everyone kind of held in fairly high esteem and was like, yeah, cool, you guys are doing it right, we love that, to being a game that now joins the meme list.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, it joins that list. And they think, oh yeah, this whole thing has been a success.
Yeah.
Just that's not the way you phrase that.
I look at this and go, look, for me, and I think for a lot of other people, Apex Legends was about reconnecting back with the gamer for EA's, you know, for EA Games. EA Games is definitely a meme right now, and if they made a solid product that was monetized correctly, they had a shot over 5 or 10 years to getting back to a place that, you know, they were in better stead with the gamer. In the last few months, I mean, it's taken a turn for the worst every single update we've seen with these guys. And Apex is now, it's just not in the shape it was at launch when everyone was really hopeful. It was in the Twitch registry. It was going really well. It just seems now it's all lost, you know?
Not all, but I would say I would not look at
A
this.
lot of it
I
is.
would not look at this event and say success. I would look at this event and say mixed. You know what I mean? Maybe your numbers are up, but a lot of other shit is down, and it takes a long time to earn this reputation back.
Sure.
You know, so
And Titanfall 3 now, like, come on, guys.
I
Like,
don't even know if that's being made.
it's probably not, right? But it's going to be a giant meme for a lot of people because they're going to be like, fuck those dudes. I've been burnt from you guys. I don't like what you guys have been doing. I'm not lining up for Titanfall 3.
The good thing is
know?
the community at least has a bit of a sense of humor. They did decide to implement a new character into the game, and we see this character on screen here.
I haven't seen him
You haven't
yet,
seen him,
actually.
Sam? This
No.
character is called Asshat.
That's perfect.
So this Asshat is
That is
called,
actually
and
perfect.
his little subtitle is "Dickish Freeloader." Right. So, ladies and gentlemen,
We leave you
Asshat,
that with
you
the
can
splash.
expect Asshat live in the game very soon. I'm sure he's going to be available on some sort of PTR. Interested to see what his kit involves, Sam. What's
Yes.
one of his moves, Sam?
I reckon it'd be some sort of gassy thing.
Some gas bait. It's like, but they've already
Yes.
got, what's his name? That toxic,
Toxic white male.
So they can't.
Yes.
Maybe it has to be poop based.
Who knows? We will
That's
see,
it.
guys. But until next time, see you, fam.
It's time to jump up in the air. Jump up, don't be scared.